Now, if you're interested in having a text RPG or any kind of story for a role-playing game, you want to start with a few basic things that will keep people interested and keep them going in your game. A text RPG is unique in that you're not around as a dungeon master. There are not other players around. It might just be that the person is reading the story and has to be engaged that way. So your story has to be very interesting from the start, or people will just leave. Now, the opening of your story is very important, and a player or potential player has to feel like they can be part of that, or they can have a character that's in their mind be part of that. There should be realism to your story. For instance, a historical background or purpose or reason for your adventure is important, unless you plan a cartoonish version of your story, which I don't recommend. I think most people like realism, even if it's just medieval fantasy or what have you. You remember those old kung fu movies where some guy would come and kill somebody, and then the brother will take a revenge and say, oh, you killed my brother, you killed my mother, whatever, now let's fight. I mean, those were good back then, but people now, they want more to the story than just go and make revenge for somebody that got killed. Now, the build-up of your story is one aspect, but people also want to feel like they're building up their character. If it's possible that you can allow the reader or the player to build up their character during the course of the story, that will be great than having a character already prepared that they don't really feel attached to. Another important tip is to give the player significant choices. I mean, a choice like choosing the left or right door is okay, but you want to make them feel like the choice that they're about to make is something that could be based on life or death, or can affect a village or affect somebody or whatnot. Choices need to be significant enough that the player needs to think about it and not just randomly say, okay, I'll choose the red one. I think one of the important parts of any good story is lots of thinking, mysteries or puzzles. I mean, they don't have to be in the way of, okay, now you will have this puzzle or now you will have this mystery. But it has to be built into the story in such a way that it causes the player to think about what they're going to do next and maybe try to figure it out. Now, some dungeon masters will argue that really it's the character that tries to figure out things with their own intelligence or wisdom or what have you. But the character is not alive, it's the player that's alive, and they're the ones that are actually thinking. So you want to get them involved and not detach them from their character. I think that interaction with non-player characters in a story is very important, especially during the beginning, the middle and the end. A lot of times I read stories where you get this interaction in the beginning and whatnot, but it starts to fade out as you get closer to the end of the story. I think it's important to have the player and their character engaged with other non-player characters as much as they can, so they feel like they're part of something that's alive, and not just merely them being in a dungeon or wilderness or forest alone. These are just some simple tips I wanted to provide about how you can make your text RPG the best ever. You can also try my own text RPG called Ruler of Kings at rulerofkings.com. You can play it in a way that you can make your own story as part of the medieval fantasy story that I've created. It's a unique concept that you should try.